Welcome to HealthWatch, presented by Novant Health. I'm your host, June Baker. Our show features local physicians and health professionals discussing health topics of importance to local residents. Today we will talk with Dr. Jared Sheetsley, who has joined Novant Health, Oceanside Family Medicine, and Convenient Care in Charlotte. Then Dr. Suzanne Adams of Brunswick Community College will join us to share information on their nursing program's new simulation lab. And finally, Victoria Bellamy, Community Engagement Specialist for Novant Health, and she'll update us on events and activities that are coming up this fall in our community. Stay tuned to learn about valuable health topics with HealthWatch. Our first guest is Dr. Jared Sheetsley of Novant Health, Oceanside Family Medicine, and Convenient Care. Welcome to the show today, Dr. Sheetsley.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Absolutely.
And I hear that you're joining Novant Health, Oceanside Family Medicine, and Convenient Care. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I sure am, and I look forward to it.
Good. Well, I know that practice is growing. Every time I turn around, I have a new provider on the show, and they're joining Oceanside Family Medicine and Convenient Care. We've had several on in the last few months. So let's start off today by learning a little bit about you and where you came from and your education.
Sounds good. So I was born and raised in southern West Virginia in Beckley, and I actually traveled down this way to UNC Wilmington for undergrad, and then traveled back up to Marshall University for medical school. I've had kind of a varied path, and then I went to Cabarrus Family Medicine for residency, and now I'm here.
Wow. You certainly did travel around. How did you get to North Carolina, to the UNCW?
Well, I have an older brother who actually came to school down here. Our family's very water-oriented. We all swam growing up, and he was here. He's 2 years older than me, so it was kind of a safe move getting away, but still having some family, so...
That's kind of how we migrated to the South. The kids went to school, and then we followed. And then well, now, I understand that you have experience in both family medicine and general surgery?
Yes, ma'am. I actually did a year of general surgery right out of medical school. I thought I might want to be a surgeon. So I went to Columbus, Ohio, to Riverside Methodist Hospital.
I'm familiar with that.
Yes, it's a very big hospital. Very busy. I learned quite a bit. I also learned that general surgery was not the lifestyle I wanted. I missed the entire experience with patients, getting to know them and their family, and the day-to-day things, giving back to the community. I love the OR, I love surgery, but I can do procedures in the office and get the full experience of medicine. So I switched and went down to family medicine.
I love family medicine because you see them when they're born and you see them at the end of their days too.
Absolutely.
And the entire family. And I love that connection because I think you learn so much about a patient from their grandmothers.
Absolutely, it's great.
I think that's a great career. Now, you mentioned Cabarrus Family Medicine as your residency program. Am I correct that Dr. Eisenhower of Oceanside Family Medicine also did his residency
He
there?
sure did. That's actually how I got set up with coming back down to this
area.
You're kidding. No, ma'am, no, ma'am. One of our attendings who went to residency, Dr. Dan Rosenberg, and Dr. Eisenhower were friends and contemporaries in residency. Dr. Rosenberg knew I wanted to come back down to the beach, and he got me in touch with Dr. Eisenhower, and it all seemed to work out after that.
Isn't that funny?
Absolutely.
It's a small world. It truly is. Well, I know we're certainly glad that you're here, and I think you'll be a great asset to Oceanside Family Medicine. So how do you like the area so far?
I absolutely love it. I grew up in a small town, and I also love the beach, so it's got best of both worlds for me. My fiance and I have already been here. The ladies at the fish market already know her by name because she's been there so many times in the few weeks we've been here.
Now, I know you said you love the area. Have you found a place to live?
Absolutely. I absolutely love the area. It was hard to pick where to live exactly. But for me, we decided to go to Ocean Isle Beach.
Beautiful.
We're only about 6-7 minutes from the office. It's great. it's very family friendly. I can't wait to start a family with my fiance down there.
Oh, great. That's awesome. Yes. Ocean Isle Beach is a lovely, lovely beach. We have many to choose from, and I can understand how it might be hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
But that's a great place to start. And we have other physicians who live on Ocean Isle Beach, so that'll be neat for you. And you say you're originally from Beckley. So you're familiar with snow, and you probably ski and all that. But
I do. I ski, I surf, I do things on boards. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
you like boards.
I sure do. I sure do.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what your duties will be at Oceanside Family Medicine and Convenient Care.
So I am a full board licensed family medicine physician. I see everything from newborns all the way to geriatric care. I can do some prenatal care. I am not certified in obstetrics, however. I do a lot of procedures and actually have an interest in both procedures and sports medicine. I've done some extra training in sports medicine back at our residency program. And with my surgical background, I do a lot of skin procedures. I do any number of office procedures.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, will you be doing that in the convenient care side or in the...
In both. In both. There are
Great.
some procedures that you have scheduled, skin procedures and other things like that. And then, of course, the everyday stitches and cuts and things that happen down here at the beach.
We have a lot of cuts around here. The shells and what have you.
Fish hooks and whatnot.
Yeah, fish hooks, that's a big one.
That's a big one. It is.
That's a big one. So you will have your own patients?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're accepting new patients?
Absolutely.
Is that
I am
correct?
currently building my patient panel. I accept all, again, birth to geriatrics. And the easiest way to get a hold of us would just be to call the office and schedule an appointment with me.
Okay, and you do see children of all ages.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about your special interests or your philosophies that you have.
Sure. I like to take a patient-centered approach to medicine. I will never make a decision without your input on whether it be medicines, procedures, any number of things. I like to center the patient. We don't try to overly do procedures that don't need to be done, imaging that doesn't need to be done. Try to do cost-effective and what's right for you as the patient. I do, again, have an interest in sports medicine, so I can do a lot of the musculoskeletal things just short of surgery. Can't really do much of that. But we do have on-site x-ray at our office, so if people are worried of fractures and things, the convenient care is always open and we can take a look at that.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, there are several schools around with athletic programs and there may be opportunity to work with the trainers and what have you. So I think that just plays right into what your interests are. So.
Yes, I talked to Dr. Eisenhower about that. He said there's multiple openings and things where I could volunteer my time as a team doc for one of the high schools.
Yes, they would absolutely love that. We have great sports teams and facilities around the area, so that'll be an easy fit.
Sure.
Well, I do want to thank you again for being here. It's been such a pleasure to have you, and I would love for you to come back at some point after you've been here a while and tell us how it's going at Oceanside Family Medicine and Convenient Care. For our viewers out there who may be looking for a new physician, I know you're taking new patients, so let's, do you have the phone number that we might provide to them?
It's 910-754-4441.
Great, and we can run that on the trailer as well to give folks that number.
Wonderful.
So thank you again so much.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Was all mine. Thank you.
Our next guest is Dr. Suzanne Adams, president of Brunswick Community College. Dr. Adams, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, June. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're quite welcome, and I can't wait to get into our conversation today. I know you've got some fabulous news for me. I know that most people out there probably know who you are familiar with you, but for those who aren't, could you share a little bit of information with us about your background and your education?
Sure. I have been president of Brunswick Community College for the last 5 years. Actually, I'm beginning my 5th year.
Wow.
And I always say that
That's
my main job at BCC is to support my faculty, staff, and trustees in their student success agenda. So that's a wonderful job to have.
It is.
Prior to coming to BCC, I spent 25 years at Sand Hills Community College in Moore County. I started there as an English professor and then moved into what we call institutional effectiveness, research and planning, and then also moved in to an administrative role in student services and academic support. So
and where was that?
That was in Moore County, which is in the Sand Hills, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen, sort of in that triangle.
I see. Wow, that's interesting. 25 years, that's a long time to be there.
It is a long time, but I had the opportunity to come to Brunswick, and it was a great one.
Well, and I know we're happy to have you here. So many great things are happening at the college, especially recently, and I know that we have you to thank for a lot of those good things. So,
well, I appreciate that, but we have a leadership that is absolutely amazing.
Wow, that's great. Well, I know you said you've been here 5 years, and I know that there are lots of health-related programs there at the college. And tell us some more about those programs for the folks out there who might be interested in joining.
Sure. We have really deliberatively moved in the area of healthcare because when we did our visioning process in 2012, we found that that was the number one need in the area, and I believe that resonates with everyone. We have had our practical nursing program for well over 20 years. We have an associate degree nursing program, and that's been at the college for a decade. We have phlebotomy. We also have what we call nurse aid, and that is offered both in the curriculum area or curriculum arena as well as continuing education. And to actually get into your practical nursing or your ADN programs, you have to have completed your nurse aid program as well. But as you know, with a community college student, a lot of times there's a stop out, drop out, on-off ramp. And what we try to do is make it available for students to be able to go to the workforce at different points along that pathway or that roadway. So we do have the nursing programs. We have some other programs. We have health, fitness, science. That's a new program that's really booming right now.
Wow.
We have medical assisting that will be on.
That's a really that career is really opening up.
It is, and we owe Navon Hospital, in order to sort of guide us in that direction, we have just been certified by our accrediting agency in order to offer that this fall. Medical assisting is a 2-year program. We also have many, many programs in the continuing ed side as well, which we call workforce pathways or pathways that are 9 months or less, so that students get into the workforce. That would be medical building and coding, and that's also our nurse aid program is in continuing education as well. On the office side of the health systems, too, we have health informatics technology.
Oh, yes.
And I know a lot of hospitals here and doctors' offices hire our students, and our students intern with them as well. So we are blessed with many health programs at BCC.
You are, and to think that in 9 months you could actually join the workforce. You could truly have a job at the end of those 9 months.
With a national certification that is transportable anywhere.
Wow, that's exciting.
It is. It is.
And speaking of exciting, I think you have some really exciting news for us, something on the horizon that's coming, and I think that it's called the Nursing Simulation Lab.
Yes, and we actually call it the Hospital Sim Lab. And we have produced what we think is a mimic, an image of a hospital, and with the patients, completely with the patients. We have mannequins that are 3G. We have a setup room, a computer control center, so that we can monitor or we can set up scenarios for our students using these mannequins. We have a medical cart. We have a debriefing area. So basically, an instructor, a nursing instructor, can set up, monitor, and then review a healthcare event. And for our nursing students, can actually engage in a healthcare event, perhaps an acute event, and be reviewed by the instructor later.
Well, let me ask you this. So a computer that's, the professor is there at the computer, and they can have that mannequin simulate an episode, like a heart attack or a
Absolutely.
stroke or something like that, and then the student actually treats the patient accordingly. Is that right?
Absolutely. So that student gets the opportunity to actually engage in acute situations that never would happen in a real hospital or in a clinical, because we just can't put a real patient in that situation. But scenarios vary. It can be blood transfusions. We even have a mannequin that is a birthing mom.
No way.
We do. and we have an infant and with the incubator and so forth. So we have replicated somewhat the hospital there.
Wow. Well, so is the simulation lab, is that offered, is that something that all nursing program students are able to use, or is
Absolutely. Of course, it started with our practical nursing and our associate degree nursing. They have clinicals in hospital settings, but it's sometimes difficult to get into clinicals.
Right.
And again, you don't get the total experience that you might be able to in a clinical. So our reason to start the sim lab was, of course, our nursing programs. But anytime that simulation lab is not in use, we'll be able to use it for our phlebotomy students, for our nurse aid students, and any other of our curriculum students and con ed students that have the need for a hospital setting.
Wow, that's going to be great. Yes. Tell me a little bit about the funding for the project. I know that Novant Health Foundation, Brunswick Medical Center, is one of the contributors. Let's talk a little bit about how else we can raise those funds.
Well, one, thank you so much for Novant's support of the Sim Lab. That call we received 2 weeks ago was well received.
It was pretty exciting. I was really happy to make that call.
Yes. And the money is already spent.
Great.
So we're ready to roll there. We also use much of our state equipment funds. This past year, we started gathering the equipment funds and buying our mannequins prior to actually putting the sim lab together. So we were able to use the majority of our state funds. Also, through the support of our county, Brunswick County gave us a capital outlay in order to do the renovations. So we took what was one single lab and we've added 2 more classrooms, taken down the walls, and now we accommodate 30 students in 3 different settings. And our county supported us that way.
Great.
We have used funds from the former hospital authority. We had grant funds that also came through the county there, and we've been able to buy equipment.
So it's a community project.
It is absolutely a community project.
Well, when is it going to open?
Well, we are ready. The only things are the finer, the curtains, the headboards. They're still on order, but we hope to have everything in order and ready to go
for
August
the fall.
17th, which is the first day of classes. Some of our second-year ADN nursing students have already been by. Our nursing faculty say it's like Christmas because something comes in the mail all the time. And we've actually completed the sim lab, and I really want to give a shout out to our operations and facilities staff because they actually did the renovations.
Wow,
talk about a collaborative effort.
Yeah, it truly is. Everybody owns a piece of it.
They do,
and that's what makes things work.
It does, and we'll have a ribbon cutting.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yes, in September or October, and all those people that have joined us in producing this sim lab and all of those in the healthcare areas will be invited.
Oh, that's exciting.
And, to help us cut that ribbon.
So as we wrap up, tell me what you think the simulation lab will mean for nursing students at BCC.
Sure. I think it allows students to use their critical thinking skills early. I also believe it gives them more confidence than they would normally have.
I would think so.
Going into the clinical setting, going into the nursing profession, because they've actually experienced these acute healthcare events. So that's the biggest thing. I was just talking to my daughter, and she's a PA, graduated from Wake Forest, and I told her about our simulation lab, and she said, "Mom, we as PAs never got into the simulation lab because it was always held back for the medical students."
Oh, yeah.
So we have something that she didn't even experience.
Well, that's great. Now, if there's somebody out there interested, is there a number they can call to find out more information about the nursing program?
Sure, and I would direct the audience to our main number, which is 755-7300. And certainly individuals that are interested might ask for Barb Mankey. She is the director of ADN nursing, or Tanya Mace, who's our director of the #1 PN program in North Carolina.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, that's wonderful. I do appreciate you coming in today and telling us about this great new lab, and we look forward to the ribbon cutting.
Well, I hope you'll be there.
I'll
June.
be there.
Thank you.
Now we will welcome Victoria Bellamy, Community Engagement Specialist for Novant Health. Well, welcome back to the show today, Victoria.
Thanks for having me back.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, and I know pretty much all about you, but for our viewers out there who may not have seen you before, tell us about your role at Novant Health.
Sure. Well, I am the Community Engagement Specialist at Novant Health. I've been there 2 years, so I help to plan and coordinate our events out in the community for the hospital. I also support our Human Resources Department and our hospital foundation.
Well, I know that you're a very busy lady, and we have a really busy fall ahead of us. So one of our largest events Novant Health participates in is the Oyster Festival. And so let's talk a little bit about that event, Victoria.
Sure. Well, Novant Health is the presenting sponsor for the 35th Annual North Carolina Oyster Festival, which is an 35th annual. We haven't been the presenting sponsor for all 35 years, but we hope to be for the coming years. So yeah, it's the 35th Annual Oyster Festival. It's in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina.
Right.
The dates this year are Saturday, October 17th and Sunday, October 18th. So we will have a presence there for the 2-day festival. We'll be giving out information on our hospital services, physician practices, and of course those fun prizes that everyone loves. Our hospital volunteers will also have a presence there this year. They will. They're going to be selling refreshments, selling beverages, and this will count as one of their annual fundraisers. And they do several things in the hospital and in the community. For example, they have a compassionate clothes closet, and so that money goes toward clothes that, you know, if you come to the hospital, if you've been in an accident or some other kind of situation where your clothes have been ruined, this ensures that you leave with clean and a comfortable outfit, instead of having to leave in a hospital gown. They also recently built a play area in the emergency department.
Oh, for children,
yeah, for children. So they do a lot of really great things in the community, and we're excited that they will be sharing the event with us this year.
Yeah, they do lots of things in the community. They're very visible in their new aubergine jackets and shirts, and so yeah, they do a great service.
They're
for
awesome.
the community. What were the dates of the Oyster Festival again?
Yeah, it's Saturday, October 17th, and that's going to be from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Sunday, October 18th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's actually located between 2nd and 3rd Street near the museum at Ocean Isle Beach.
Right.
And then also the weekend before that, on October 10th, which is a Sunday, they're going to have a Muddy Oyster Run, which is a 5K challenge obstacle course out near Ash. So it's running through the mud, and Novant Health will be there too. We'll hope to have a medic tent at this event. So
I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't worked that one before, but we'll all be there.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one too. How about senior events? Do we have some senior events coming up?
We do. We actually have 2 senior events this fall. We have the Brunswick County Senior Health and Wellness event, which is going to be September 25th at the Best Western in Leland. This will actually also be part of a seminar to talk about dementia and Alzheimer's and information for the individual and for their caregivers. And then they're also doing a health fair in conjunction with that. So we'll be part of the health fair. There will be lots of vendors out there that'll, you know, have information for our senior citizens in the community. And then the next weekend on October 9th, we have the Seniors Helping Seniors event, which is at the Brunswick County Senior Resources Building in Charlotte. And so that event, there will be several vendors. They'll have lots of activities for the seniors that are involved in that resource center. But we'll also be at that event giving away information and prizes there too. So that'll be fun.
Okay, you're just booking up every weekend for me and you.
Yeah. Yes.
I think the health department does something typically in the fall. Is that right?
They usually do. They usually have their fall adult health screenings day at the health department. They're actually going to move it to the spring, so we'll look forward to having that event probably in March or April of next year, of 2016.
So that'll be in the spring of 16.
Right, correct.
That's great, because we are always, we love to partner with the health department, and they do a great service for Brunswick County. So looking forward to that. I guess they're going to change it. It'll be a little bit different this year, and moving it to the spring and what have you. So, well, it's going to be a very busy fall.
Yes, it is.
How about any other community events happening that you've left out?
Yeah, we do. We have a few more. We have the Leland Founders Day, which is September 12th, and that's at the Brunswick Forest in their commercial park area there in Leland. So that's full of all kinds of great things. There's activities for kids, activities for adults, arts and crafts vendors, and we'll be there giving away information as well. And then the next weekend we have Brunswick Electric, their annual Members Day. So that's going to be at Odell Williamson Auditorium on September 19th. That's also a Saturday, so that's Saturday following the Leland Founders Day.
It starts kind of early, like 8 o'clock?
It does. It starts at 8 and it lasts until about 10:30. It's a really busy event.
I know. I've worked that one before, and I've never seen so many people.
Yes. So we'll be actually there doing blood pressure screenings, and we may have some more other screenings available as well.
So I assume we're bringing folks along to do the blood pressures. You and I won't
be
doing that. I think that Universal Healthcare has something coming up, don't they?
They do. Theirs is on a Friday, so it's Friday,
like
October 2nd. That's right. And it's a fall festival and a health fair, so it's really neat. They have...
I didn't get to go to that one last year. Weren't there chickens there?
There were chickens and tractors and all kinds of...
I love tractors. That'll be fun.
I think they even had like a farmer's market type thing going on. And then, of course, local health services that were available. And it's a public event, so it's the people that are at the Universal Healthcare and then their families. It was a really busy event. So. Wow. And that one's in Bolivia.
That's right there on the way to the complex, on the way to the college right there. It's near the college.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Well, that's good. Well, I think that pretty much covers the community events, and now we've got some foundation events coming up. Let's talk about those a little bit.
Sure. Well, first we have our golf tournament that's coming up on Friday, September 11th, and it's going to be at a new location this year at Sea Trail Golf Resort in Sunset Beach. The volunteers are helping us host the golf tournament this year, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and it's on September 11th, so we're going to do a red, white, and blue patriotic theme.
Yeah. That's great. And then we have Glitz, Glamour, and Glow coming up in November, right?
We do. So November 14th, also a new location. We'll have it at the South Brunswick Island Center in Carolina Shores, Calabash area this year. And that is a wine tasting, shopping event, and that money goes back toward our Breast Health Fund.
That's a great event. I love that. It's so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And the ladies really enjoy that.
They do.
Well, I think there's a website that folks can access. Is that not correct?
That's correct. The website is www.novanthealth.org/Brunswick events. And that'll show you where we're going to be out and about in the community this fall.
So it'll have all those events listed there?
It will.
That's awesome.
It will.
Well,
and you can also call my number, which is 910-721-1473.
Great. Well, thanks again for being here. This has been such great information. I look forward to spending every weekend in September and October with you.
With me.
But thanks again for being here, Victoria.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to ATMC TV's Health Watch. I hope this information was beneficial for you and your family. If you have any questions or topics that you would like to see discussed on a future show, please email them to atmctv@atmc.coop. For more information on Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center, local doctors, and general health information, please visit novanthealth.org. Thanks again for joining us today. Be sure to join us next time for Health Watch on ATMC TV.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.